Good morning and Namaste, my friend, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Christopher Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. Thank you so much for walking by my side today. I'm love casting live in 5 dimensions on this beautiful temple of Gaia on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2015. And today we are blessed with a full moon in Leo. This full moon is intense, I have to say. I think has to do with Jupiter and some other things. I'll talk about that in the cosmic clock. But in the essence of full moons in general, they basically have 2 stages. There's the build-up stage, which is where we are when you watch this in the morning of Tuesday. It will be in the build-up stage. Emotions will build all through the day. And this is around the heart because this full moon is in Leo. And in this emotional build time, we'll talk about it here in the Sensei Sunrise, we're going to want to do release of old emotions. And then the second stage is a much more fun stage. It is joy. Hopefully serious joy, that's what we're aiming for. And I think with all of this going on, it happens due to the nature of Step 14. Step 14 is when we make a big change of mind. And I think that the moon and the emotions leading up to the climax of the full moon and the release is all part of our minds changing about something in our life. But not just a changing, I think a reframing. And not just a simple reframing, I think a quantum reframing. One that is going to take us up to a higher level of joy. I think, and this is because we are now 6 months into Jupiter in Leo and trying to expand our hearts. Aquarius is the opposite of Leo, so this is us on the opposite side of Leo. And now we're seeing with our hearts today in this full moon, which is lighting up the Leo-Aquarius vibration, we are seeing and feeling our potential in this state of awareness. So it is about where we belong, and as I've been teaching all along, where we belong is about what our heart truly desires. So today we're going to talk about reframing our life and hopefully around truth, which is what our heart is calling for. But before we get into that explanation, let's first tame our brain, shall we? With the phrase of the day. I am ready to release the past. Amen. I am ready to release the past. And when you say it, does it resonate inside? I am ready to release the past. I mean, does your heart really believe that? Now, you ought to be feeling your heart really powerfully today with the alignment of the vibrations. The matrix is full of love energy, and that means if your heart's holding on to pain, it will be pressured, and that means if your heart is holding on to love, it will be boosted. Love creates healing, and it also creates joy. So we want to, tame our brain to just go ahead and let go of that past. When it comes up and we have the option to just say, forget it, there's nothing to think about, there's nothing to talk about, right? It's all talked out, and that's why we're taming the brain and saying, hey, I'm ready to release the past. And you want to say it at least 3 times, and every time you feel the past come up, you want to try to release it. And that's what I've been feeling, the past. Tiny little mistakes. I think Mercury retrograde is making me or allowing me, whatever, to slip into old mistakes I don't make anymore, but now it does, and that I have, and so that slips into all this feeling of all the last times I've made these mistakes. And with my Leo rising, it's pride. Pride is so tough for us, and I try to find the right pride. But so I think, I realized already it's in my life, this is the past. We want to release it. And I guess what I want to say is, be ready in your mind to release the past, because it's so easy to get seduced into those old feelings and stay there. Right? So I am ready to release the past, and so it is. I thought so. Now today the serious step of the day is step 14, Aquarius, and the architecture of incarnation is as follows. We are manifesting step 10. I manifest is the earth, so it's always the earth in play with manifestation, and after we're at step 10, we are manifesting on earth. There's only really 10 steps that are invisible, if you want to say. Today what we do is we add on that 4, which means that our I belonging is the second dimension that's awake. So our I belonging consciousness is awake. I belong, as you well know, is the consciousness tied to the heart. We belong where our heart desires. That's where we belong in the architecture of this 3D reality. And so when you are manifesting where you belong, you will find that you end up connecting to a new framework of thinking. You end up connecting to a new group of people. You end up connecting to a new sense of reality. You end up connecting to a new a new reality. And it all happens in the fraction of the second that your mind finally clicks over. All right? So we're building up to that, and we're manifesting as we do. Let's take a look at the chakras involved and the colors. So, orange. Orange, we're going to go through the Earth. The Earth is one of the planets that is involved today in this tug-of-war known as a full moon. And so the Earth is heavily affected, and orange is heavily affected today. Then yellow. This is the moon. Pure yellow energy, which is our third chakra, the butterflies you might feel. This too heavily affected today. Then the biggest is our heart. I love because of the Leo energy involved, but also because of the sun in the lineup of what we call a full moon. So today, I recommend doing some breathing, specifically through really just orange. You can wear orange today because we are doing some manifesting as we release. And this will help you just kind of stabilize the solar plexus, especially in jumpy energy. It was very jumpy yesterday, and I meditate and exercise, and it's like even you do all those things, sometimes not. The other place I recommend is yellow. This is our feelings and our thoughts around our feelings. So any type of deep breath work where you're just letting it all go that way is a great way to prep for the day so that you are feeling your best. Now let's take a look at the timing of things with the cosmic clock. So we are at step 14 here. We got a party going on in Aquarius, and not just step 14, but Mercury is retrograde. Now notice that step 14, 1 plus 4 makes 5, and Mercury's at step 5. Very interesting, right? This is how it usually works in my observation of the planets, and one of the reasons why I now follow step astrology the most for myself. So today, the Mercury retrograde is in right alignment. The mind is logged into the sun. And because it is at step 5, it is basically re-looking at those basic connections of Aquarius, so those basic fundaments. You may find that you are looking at some fundaments in your life or some of the fundaments of the situation. So you may be making like I want to go here next or go there next. In the Zodiac weather, I'll talk about where you may want to be going and whatnot, but wherever it is you might be going, you might be looking at the base elements of it again. So it's like looking at the beginning of it as well, and that's part of this Mercury retrograde. You might also be looking back, old conversations, old fights, old things like that kind of coming up. Now, this is also interesting. We've got this party going on, of course, across the way. This is the full moon, a tug-of-war between the sun and Mercury, which is in orb, and Earth, the moon, Jupiter, which is in orb, and his wife, Juno, which is in orb. So this is quite a party. We're kind of standing. I mean, if you look at this, it's almost like we are standing. It's almost like Jupiter and his wife are standing at the altar with us, is what it's about right there. It's like they're standing at the altar and we're getting married to a new thing in our life, in our heart. And the energy is powerful because Jupiter's unlimited possibilities. It's at step 18 today, so that means that we might be reconsidering a decision that we had once made. It is also retrograde at the moment. So Juno is at 11, I believe, which means that she is promoting integrity and healing. Right? So we're being promoted in integrity and healing, and that's all down there in Leo, which is our heart space. Now, the Jupiter has been in Leo since August of 2014. It has since been retrograding in its current retrograde transit, I should say. And this is a once every 12-year expansion of our heart. So, between 2014 and 2015, the Earth is getting a dose of solid love, inspiring humans to hopefully pursue that. And so today is very much the peeling away of emotional baggage that is in the way of whatever promises Jupiter hopes to make or hopes to fulfill. And the universe is very serious about this, and I'll show you why. We've got not just that, but that beautiful grand trine going on that's uniting this little event in an incredible, powerful way here. The grand trine uniting the light between 3 points of our other consciousness. On the one hand, Saturn there at the top with Pallas, and Saturn and Pallas are basically reframeworking our belief structure. Pallas, which is the framework of it. We'll talk more about Pallas in the future. People are confused about Pallas. So are astrologers. We're just studying this meteor, asteroid, basically. Asteroid, actually. We're just studying this asteroid in our clients' charts now and starting to get some real ideas of how she works. But we do know that where Palace is, you are basically putting together a system of things. So it's, in this case, a system of beliefs. And then Uranus in the other left-hand corner there, which is conjuncting our south node, is building a new ego. And so, as you can see, the sun is the power of this whole grid of light here. And so the sun basically is waiting for one thing and one thing only. Mercury, that smartass who has currently gone Freddy, right? And this is why I say Mercury. Check this out. We have Mercury at step 5, the Sun at step 14, which makes a 5. Pluto is at step 14, which makes a 5. Pallas Athena is at step 14, which makes a 5. The Earth, the Moon, and no, just the Earth and the Moon are at step 14, which makes a 5. So you can see, basically, the way the steps in the states work is this. The ruling state is the ruling state. Today, the ruling state is step 5. The mind is the ruling state. At the end of the day, we are massaging our mind, period. But because all these other planets are tied in the same ruling state, whatever the mind decides today, these are all on board. They're all going to leave the old corporation together and walk out the door all together in a union of energy. And what is that union? Well, obviously our mind, obviously where our heart goes, obviously what we manifest by earth, obviously how we feel, how we're going to grow, and Athena Sagittarius, our future beliefs that we are frameworking, which will change who we are and what we do with Uranus and Aries. So you can see that no matter what's going on in your life, whether it's highly dramatic or it's very, very calm, I believe a quantum moment is happening here, and I believe it happens simply from a change of mind. All right? So let's get into the depths of what this change might be in our Sensei Sunrise. I love full moons, the beauty of them anyways. But the intensity is intense. We're at step 14, Aquarius, and climbing the conscious ladder. We are now at I connect. Now, I believe this is a change of mind, but this is technically when we connect as we climb up. We connect for the first time and realize we're online at step 5, and then we connect to other parts of the matrix and our awareness at step 14. The moon is full in Leo, so that connection is about, emotionally, our hearts and where our hearts want to be next, where they want to belong next. The architecture works just like this. We take that 10, we add a 4, and that 4, that belonging, here's the trick of it. So, if you can leave the house knowing what your heart wants, you're in good shape, because it recognizes right away where it belongs. And as far as what needs to go, if as far as energies and emotions are concerned, if it doesn't belong on the trip, it doesn't belong on the trip, right? You don't pack a swimsuit on the way to Antarctica or whatever. So it's like, hey, it doesn't belong. I'm just because I'm going this way and I don't need it anymore. So that is the essence of any electricity or difficult. But it does bring the mind to a new framework of thinking. And I argue it's about, the whole time the mind has been framing it one way due to the way we feel. And so now we're going to frame it a new way due to the way we intend to feel, how we want to feel and how we want to become. And so really, it is a powerful day of changing our minds, I think. But it's about allowing ourselves to basically circle around like ball bearings, like circle around the circle of consciousness and circle out of belonging in one place and circle in emotionally into belonging in another place. So I think today you have to let your feelings go from one way and let your feelings go into another way. And somewhere along the way, I think the mind finally gets it. Now, sharing this book, a lot of people have asked this book I'm reading. It's Conversations with God, Book 2 right now by Neil Donald Walsh. And one of the interesting things I want to share, and I'm going to start sharing all the books I read just because it's good. We need to get out there. People aren't reading. And some of these are old books. I can't believe some of them I'm finding. This one is amazing to me. It's definitely changing my whole perspective of God. But the most powerful point I wanted to bring up today was just that, according to God, the only time you have a bad feeling is when it came from the mind. So the mind is the only source, according to God in this book, of bad feelings. The mind generates the bad feelings and whatnot. When we are generating feelings from our heart, it is impossible for them to feel bad, according to the architecture of incarnation or what God says He created. And it's interesting, just the energy that comes through this book. If you are reading this book, let me know or reach out to me. I'm going to start a book club soon so we can talk about some of this stuff. I really feel all this awareness building, and this book has done a lot to help me. It will help you too. I recommend it if you just want to hear straight from God. The interesting thing about this book too is I believe this person channeled God. I really do. And right off the bat, that separates me as a whack job from a lot of people. But when you're a psychic, you just know when you're connecting to energies if something is true or not. And I was just thinking today earlier, it's like, my goodness, even the Bible is Jesus quoting God and people quoting Jesus quoting God. This is someone who's saying this is what God said literally, and some of the humor in it will also delight you. So I'm going to read the rest of these books, and then I'm going to read Many Lifetimes, Many Masters is my next one. So if you guys want to read along, I'd love to have you read with me. So in the 11:11 today, if you're in my Sirius Joy Personal Sensei Network, I will at 11:11 a.m. tell you how the full moon will affect your soul story. Now by soul story, I mean your multi-lifetime story that comes from your natal chart. And how I come up with that is my own thing. But in 160 characters, I will tell you where in your soul story this is a big turning point. And then at 3:03 p.m. your local time, I'll talk about how your moon sign, which is your emotional matrix, the way you are emotionally built by your moon sign, will be influenced tonight, or this afternoon, really, by the full moon. Actually, the full moon will apex, incidentally, on the East Coast around 7, I believe. 7? Around 6? 6:08, I believe. 6:08 or 7:08. 7:08 Eastern Time, yes, on the East Coast. And it's 4:08, yes, and it's 4:08 on the West Coast. I'm glad I remembered that. Thanks for having patience with me as I stumbled through the retrograde. But in essence, all of us will be affected tonight, and I think tonight, as we go to sleep, we'll hopefully be writing on the new Sirius Joy that's part of the new reframing of our life in the new direction. New. Well, I'll be right back with some more information for your zodiac weather and some tips of the day right after this, my friend.
What's the difference between lust and love? We get them confused. You know, we talk about love and we date, but what does it really take to find love? I can tell you. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. You send us your date of birth, we send you a custom video that's all about you. The biggest problem usually is people choose the wrong person. Not anymore. Find out your birthday secret today. Available online at secretsofbirthdays.com.
Soul Garden.
And here we are at the Soulmart.me trading post. One thing I do want to share with you folks, we're going to turn Soulmart into more of a catalog here moving in the few weeks coming forward. And when I say catalog, I mean I'm really interested in great quality Lightwalker products that help the public, ones that we've looked into and know are good, but Soulmart itself really can't handle the goods and service trading of all these different Lightwalkers, but I think we do need a catalog of products and services that really do help the soul grow. The products and services I have in there, I know do. And if you have product services you're interested in putting in the catalog, we'll work out something very simple. It's not about money as much as it's about helping others in my heart. So if you're interested, email us at help@soulmart.me. Right now in the store, we do have the Secrets of Birthdays Love and Lust report. This is a fun report. Super good for Valentine's Day, for a honey, for a coworker. All you need is their date of birth, which is usually something you can find on Facebook. And for $19.95, you will find out so much about them. Pretty powerful. You'd be surprised. And that's just with a date of birth. When we have the actual time and location, insane what we find out. And the superhero training program, this is Alexis Sam Moore's program. She came to us from Texas. She was teaching this in local schools, and this is one of the many things we want to bring to the public at soulmart.me. And if you'd like to see what else we have there, including readings and other classes on video, visit soulmart.me. Thank you ahead of time with gratitude for coming by and shopping there. So now on to today's gong. Love that moon. Very simple today. Life does change. Believe it. All right? Today it's going to be very easy to get caught in the wallows of the heart. And the heart does wallow. And if you're a person who always sucks it up and doesn't really take the time to have mercy on yourself, well then, you start to let this energy build up and you start to think that life will never change. Life does change. Believe it. It has so many times and it will again. It's really, as you can see, it's just step 14. Got to get your mind around the new life and let go of the old one and let go of those heavy emotions sometimes that we hold on to, those pains. And I'm not sure why we do. There's a lot of reasons why we hold on to them. But I know this, they don't really make life any better. So allow them to go today and don't get caught up in that sticky oatmeal thinking that life doesn't change and nothing ever does change. Because all that does is make it not change, right? But before you do your meditation on life changing in your way, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today and the power of the full moon. In fact, I'm going to help you understand what you'll be releasing old fears about. What are you releasing the old? I think the releasing the old is the hardest. Once you're free, it's a little easier to know where you're going. So where are you releasing old feelings? Starting with the Scorpios, step 0. Sunny and professional today for the Scorpions, but releasing old feelings about careers that got away. All right? And today, if you find yourself worrying about the future career, ask yourself, are you worrying about the future? Or are you still harboring the old mistakes? That's a real question there. Step 1, the Leos, sunny and cool today, but they might have some ups and downs. They are definitely affected the most. Releasing old feelings about embarrassments and pride issues that you've had. Indeed, my Leo rising knows this to be true. So letting that all go and realizing if you have any anxiety about what you want to become, you might be actually harboring old emotions from just past boo-boos. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and manifesting their life in a big way, but releasing old feelings about self-confidence and money troubles. So you're going to be releasing old confidence issues. Now, what you're creating today, what you're reframing, is where the lines are in life, but releasing old feelings about self-confidence. Step 3 is the Sagittarius is sunny and definitely learning, aiming towards life purpose today, but releasing old feelings about having been ignorant or having gone down the wrong path or not had the right information, which is so dope to a Sagittarius. Step 4 is the Aquariuses, cloudy chance of love issues today. They're, again, one of the most affected. They're on the fault line of this full moon. But you are releasing old feelings about relationships that went wrong. When I say relationships that went wrong, I mean with your mother, with your father, with your aunt, with your uncle, all of them that went wrong that might be adding energies that aren't appropriate to today's relationships and complicating your ego development. Step 5, the Gemini, sunny and super pensive, but releasing old feelings today about misinformation or maybe legal woes or some sort of matrix of being caught up in your mind, being caught up in things it doesn't want to be. You're trying to step into a new life purpose, but first, let's get rid of that misinformation. Whoa. Step 6, the Libran, sunny and social today, but releasing old feelings about public mistakes or old politics, so old frustrations. Libras who are very altruistic about the world, when I was saying, don't let, things do change, that's not just within yourself, that's also within the world. Things do change. Starts with you, of course. Step 7, the Pisces, sunny, hyper, alert, and aware. Might have some heavy anxiety today for them, maybe with the full moon. But releasing old feelings about a lifestyle that once went wrong. And that lifestyle could have been in any lifetime, by the way. So if you can't put your finger on it in this life, ask yourself if this feeling is always around. Then ask yourself, do you want it to always be around? Step 8, the Capricorn, sunny and private today, but releasing old feelings about betrayals or mistrust issues, feeling betrayed or not being able to trust. And if you're on the precipice of making some sort of big decision and can't, especially about money, it's because these old betrayals are still harboring in your consciousness. Step 9 is the Aries, sunny, chance of temper tantrums. That's because their heart is really struck to the core, plus the energies. And really, you're releasing old feelings about, This is a little Mercury retrograde issue. I'll just say it out loud. You're releasing old feelings about when your heart has been broken in the past. So lost loves, creative projects that went wrong, things your heart really thought it wanted, and then, damn, it didn't work. So let that all go. It's because you're finding your real place in the world, and it's not a broken heart, loser. It's the hero Aries. So those things were not who you were, who are you becoming, right? Step 10, the Tauruses. Sunny, nesting, and resting, and the moon is working on pure emotions for the Taurus. That makes it doubly difficult for this Taurus. Whew, but you're releasing old feelings about childhood insecurities and also childhood memories. And I do think childhood, because the moon is full in the 4th house for them in their solar chart. So you really want to release it. And I know people always like, oh, it's released. But you have to ask yourself, are you adding extra drama to anything in your life right now? And if you are, where's that drama coming from? Maybe your first marriage if you're old enough. The Virgos, cloudy and spiritual, but releasing old feelings about karmic patterns and fearisms. You'd fall into fearisms, and that's when you would be like, oh, So those are old spiritual funks, basically, that you fall into. I mean, deep emotional funks, and because it's a Virgo anal retentive mental thing, it's an ism. It turns into an ism in your life. But whatever they are, you know what I'm talking about. Got to let that go today, because what's going to replace it is a general sense of hope and happiness. That's my prediction. All right, so let's look on the Lightwalker Parade and see what we have on our way to help you today. We are definitely pushing Pump Your Pineal Gland, because it will help you open up psychically, especially as we get into the high heavens of Aquarius and Pisces. Check it out. David Perry is doing great. He has some vitamins coming to Soulmart very soon. We also have the Giving and Receiving segment of our hashtag series on Tweet Talk. If you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our channel. It does help us with our relationship with them. And on Facebook, you can go straight to our Facebook page by going to soulgarden.me. And of course, you can join our email list, where I'll email you in the middle of the night. But if you can, come in the flesh. Come meet us at the LAX Hilton this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the Conscious Life Expo. Looking forward to meeting a lot of other light walkers, and that's my most exciting thing, to see what other people are doing and feel the vibrations. And I would encourage that you find something like this in your neighborhood and start connecting. Saturn is moving through Sagittarius. People are coming together now. It's a rare thing. Take advantage if you can. And that brings us down to our rock and roll gospel. Today's rock and roll gospel is moving down the Aquarius train. And this is one that you might not have realized, although when you realize how popular her music has been, you would make sense. Carole King. And that song, You've Got a Friend, which is me saying that to you. I am your friend. You've got a friend. Carole King has an awesome voice and wrote so many songs. In fact, James Taylor made a fortune off of her songs, which she knows. I mean, she licensed them to him, but a lot of songs like You've Got a Friend, I think James Taylor first, but she's the writer. Well, she's a master Step 20 Aquarius and Generation Butterfly, and definitely brought some of those wonderful, tender songs to us, and this one is one of them. So today, if you're down and out, remember, you have a friend. I hope you have a great day. Release the old and embrace the new. I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.
Soul God.